I cannot stand the stigma.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
Welcome back to Schizophrenia in the City. We're doing another Reddit reaction. I'm Michelle Hammer. I have schizophrenia. Carolyn here has
many things.
So we're not doctors, but we are patient advocates. So we have a lot of experience in that set. We're going to try our best here to give our best reaction to these Redditors who seems to be having some mental health issue problems or thinking they're the asshole in some situations. Am I the asshole? My sister is schizophrenic. My sister and I are 2 years apart, 20 and 18. We also have a transgender brother, age 15. We grew up in a fairly normal family and very loving parents, especially our mom. 2 months ago, our mother died in a horrific car accident. I got a call from my hysterical brother upset that my sister had some kind of freak out and was taken to a hospital. She was hospitalized for 2 weeks. That was 3 weeks ago. For the last week, she's been acting freaky, talking to herself. The doctor said she is schizophrenic, but I think she is attention-seeking because her mom died and it has to be about her. Yesterday, we all got together for my brother's 15th birthday and everything was going fine until my sister started insisting the TV was talking to her because she has to make it about her on my brother's birthday. The interaction went close to this. How are you doing? It doesn't matter, I will be consumed by the void. What are you talking about? He will not be pleased. Who is he? My sister pointed at the TV. I'm so tired of this schizophrenic BS. We all know you're faking it. Then she admitted it by saying, I'm not schizophrenic, the void is coming. Then stop making everything about you. First it was mom's death, now it's brother's birthday. All you ever do is look for attention and spout BS about this void. None of us believe you. Even you said it yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. After I said this, she just stared at me without changing her expression, and my dad then pulled me aside and said it was uncalled for, and now everybody, including my brother, whose birthday I tried to save, think I'm the asshole. So I passed the question to you. Am I the asshole? When someone tells you that you have a mental illness and you deny that mental illness, it doesn't mean that you're lying that you don't have it. You might not believe that you have it. And it's that word that I can never pronounce, anosognosia, anaxosmia.
Who really wants to admit it?
Yeah, maybe she's not admitting it. A lot of people diagnosed with schizophrenia think they're not schizophrenic. They think they're right. They're right. People are coming after them.
Or
I am being hunted.
anything, really.
And I'm not wrong. I'm right. I thought that for a long time. I wasn't wrong. I thought everyone really did hate me.
Why are you screaming?
I'm getting passionate because this guy, I'm so glad this isn't my brother, but it makes me think, what did my brother think? Here's this comment. Unless you are working as a psychiatrist at age 20, you have no right to diagnose anyone. You can either try to help her or move on with your life.
Whatever, your mom just died. So I don't know why you're not being more helpful towards her. I mean, maybe you're going through something yourself, obviously, because, your mom died, so, I feel bad for you.
I mean, but trauma, could be a trauma response.
Yeah,
a trauma response.
Trauma brings out,
Why aren't you just happy that this isn't happening to you?
Yeah.
How about you see, your sister is struggling? Why not be closer with your siblings now that your mother is gone?
That too, yeah.
You should be closer with your family instead of trying to then, exile part of your family or drive a wedge between you and your sister. She was diagnosed by a medical professional as schizophrenic and you think she just does it for attention.
And you think that you know better than the doctor?
Yeah, are you one of those people who don't believe that mental illness exists? Have some compassion. Reddit deemed you the asshole, and now I deem you the asshole. Do you deem him the asshole? You're an asshole. Am I the asshole for reporting my schizophrenic coworker to management? I'm working with a team to collect COVID samples, so we spend a lot of time sitting around and getting to know each other. One of my coworkers was sitting alone laughing. I asked her what she was laughing at. She said, "Oh, just jokes in my head. I hear voices." She said she was bipolar and schizophrenic. She told us not to worry, the voices were being nice today. She went on to say they were much meaner when she was in college. She reassured us everything was okay because she can go long periods without medication. I worked in EMS, so I know how unpredictable an unmedicated person who is hearing voices can be. I informed the manager. One of my coworkers thought what I did was wrong because that could get her fired due to the stigmatization of mental illness. The manager also worked in the medical field, so she could tell something was off. She seemed supportive of our coworker, but decided to move her to a more supportive role that had less contact with people. Edit. Some clarification. I didn't mention her not wearing the proper PPE because that's a no-brainer. I'm not sure what PPE is. Also, she wasn't joking about the voices being meaner in college. She was dead serious. 99% of psych patients you see in EMS are super chill. They were my favorite patients. However, you're on guard because that 1% can do a lot of damage to you or themselves. Thank you for your responses. I try my best to be self-aware. They collected COVID samples. Why can't a person with schizophrenia collect COVID samples?
Oh.
That's what I don't understand.
That's why there's PPE, protective, equipment. If no one was complaining, then what's the problem?
I have an issue with this. I really have an issue with this. You're collecting COVID samples. You're talking with the people. I've had jobs too where I spoke with people. I worked with other people. I had it and I never hurt anyone or did anything. And the thing is, Reddit deemed this not the a-hole, but I deem this the a-hole. Like ID.
Oh, they did. They said I didn't.
It says not the a-hole. The reason why I'm saying that they're wrong and this person is the thing because they were talking to themselves and laughing.
Yeah.
They didn't have to tell you they were schizophrenic because you couldn't tell they were schizophrenic.
You didn't know what was happening.
You couldn't tell. You asked what they were laughing at.
Yeah.
Was your coworker running around, like hitting things, throwing things on the floor, being a big mess, causing a conundrum? No. You asked what they were laughing at. And they trusted you and they confided in you that they were schizophrenic and that they just weren't on their meds, but their old voices in college were worse. So what's the problem? What did they do wrong? Tell me what they did wrong. But they trusted you? That's what they did wrong. They trusted you.
Yeah.
Dined out with my girlfriend of 6 years and the napkins came with an ad for mental health. She thought couples therapy might be a good idea. I disagreed. Result? A crazy argument and a breakup right there at the table.
First of all, it's weird that a napkin at a restaurant has a therapy on the napkin. That's weird. Yeah, but what if you're on a first date and you see that and you get to all the
this is a terrible first date. I really need some therapy because all I go on is terrible first dates. Oh God, that's right. Thank God for this napkin. Thank God for this napkin. All I go on is terrible dates.
Also, for 6 years, you guys never talked about therapy before.
There has to be so much more to this story.
I don't know. I want to see the comments.
Let's see if there are comments. Okay, let us see the comments. Okay. Sounds like issues did not start with a napkin at the table.
Yeah.
But it ended with the tissue on the table. I love the idea of a relationship so fragile that a napkin ends it. If my girlfriend found my pile of used napkins, she would end the relationship right then and there.
I don't get it. No, it said... Oh. So
actually the guy was ultimately right. You don't need couples therapy if you're not a couple. There you go. That's the answer, I guess. You ain't a couple, you're not... You know what? Let's move on. Hey Reddit, I have a best friend, and for the sake of the story, I'm gonna call her Amy. Amy is bisexual, she is 16. I am 17 female, and before Amy, I have no interest in girls. I was so straight. But then I met Amy, and after 2 years, I became pansexual. Amy and I started dating shortly after, but we broke up after 5 months later because I was lost in my sexuality and I was really confused. We dated again 2 months later, and then 3 months after that, we broke up again. She broke up with me because she didn't want to hurt me. I didn't take the second breakup very well, and I got diagnosed with depression, and my mental health has been really bad, and it still is. I have been in the worst time of my life, and I'm not saying I'm depressed because of her, because there was a lot of that happening around that time of the breakup, and now Amy wants to get back together, and I would love to date her again. But I don't think that I am mentally ready to date at the moment, and I know I will end up hurting her, which I really don't want to do. However, Amy didn't take that well, and I feel guilty about it. Amy also has depression, and hers is way more severe than mine, and I don't think she's ready to date either, and I don't know what to do. So am I the asshole for putting my mental health first? P.S. I forgot to add, I don't have a therapist or a person to talk to about my problems, too. So my mental health is only getting worse, and I don't know if I can put Amy through that. So am I the asshole?
No, you're
not.
young.
No, you're not the asshole.
Both so young.
You're 16 and 17.
And, figuring stuff out.
Yeah, you're still figuring things out. You're so young.
Yeah.
If you don't want to put her through things now, if you don't want to be in a relationship, you don't have to be in a relationship.
But also, maybe you guys...
You're number one.
But maybe you'll end up back together, when you both figure it out. Or maybe you guys can both be there together for each other.
You're depressed right now.
Both of them are, though.
If you think you can't be a good, person for her, then don't be with her. But don't close yourself off completely.
I think they can get back together, but also they're so young. Who knows who else they'll meet,
You have so much more time in your life.
I don't know.
You're 16 and you're 17. There's so much more life to have.
Yeah.
You're really stressing out about this one thing, and stress is only going to make your depression worse. So,
well, she said she's stressed out about a lot of things too, but at the same time, like, you're 16, 17, like, if you guys are meant to be together, like, you'll get back together. And both of you guys maybe just, work on yourselves for now.
You have a lot of time left in your life. If you're not together now, you could be together next year, or the next year you could be. You're 16 and 17. You have years and years of getting together.
Yeah.
In your life. I don't think it's terrible that you're doing this to her right now when you have time after. Maybe when you're feeling better about what's going on in your life and everything, and maybe you'll just be in a better spot. Because sometimes you just can't date somebody. It happens. Sometimes you just can't date somebody.
Also, like, don't let anybody make you feel bad or be depressed about who you love and about your sexuality. Like,
and you mentioned that you don't have a therapist to talk to or anything. I hope maybe you can try to journal or something and just get your thoughts out in that sense.
Oh.
Am I the asshole for not telling my boyfriend I'm schizophrenic? 17 female, am schizophrenic, and I got diagnosed when I was 15. Schizophrenia isn't a defining characteristic for me, and I am on medications for it. I've known my boyfriend, male, 20 years old, for around 4 years now, and we started dating 7 months ago. My schizophrenia isn't something I really talk to people at all about. The only people in my life that knew before he found out were 5 of my closest friends and my dad. Even my siblings and mother aren't aware of my diagnosis. Anyways, around a week ago, my boyfriend found a slip of paper from my psychiatrist with my diagnosis on it. He absolutely flipped out and asked me why I didn't trust him enough to tell him about something so big. He was really upset that I had kept this a secret, and I was planning on telling him eventually anyways, but I just didn't know how to bring it up. Anyways, we ended up fighting about how big of a deal it was for like 3 hours, and now he's out somewhere saying he needs to think about things but doesn't want to break up. Am I the asshole? Edit. More people than I expected calling him a groomer. We met when I was 14 and he was 17, didn't even showing romantic interest in each other until he was 16 and he was 19. Update kind of. He just called me 10 minutes ago saying he'd be back at my place in a few hours. It's currently 12 a.m. So that means he'll probably be here 3 or 4 a.m. I don't know when he's coming back here, but I'll update y'all when I find out. Actual real update, he came home at 2. He gave me a promise ring and said he's okay and wants to spend the rest of his life with me, which kind of creeped me out. He's been extremely nice and happy since it's very clearly faked. I don't know if he's pretending, but he's gonna... Okay. If you have any mental illness, it is your choice who you want to tell. If your boyfriend of 7 months couldn't tell that you have schizophrenia, why is he so angry that he found out you have schizophrenia? Does he now think that you're this dangerous, villainous person? Because that's what people believe schizophrenia is. Oh no, now they're dangerous, now they're crazy, now they're nuts, just because he found out you have schizophrenia. But really, if you were that dangerous, villainous, crazy person, wouldn't he have been able to find that out just by in the past 7 months of dating him, or the past 4 years of knowing him? This is what makes me so mad.
They were friends
He's
for 4
mad
years.
about your diagnosis that he could not tell you had
For years.
But once he found out, his opinion of you has changed.
That's weird. But then he came with a promise ring.
I cannot stand the stigma.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's also like that she didn't say anything. That's weird. Maybe she feels like, why didn't you trust me? I don't know. I just don't know why you would not want to tell your spouse.
Well, I mean, if she needed support from him, if she needed help from him,
he wasn't
if he
supportive
needed her.
in other
But the thing is,
in other
she
ways.
obviously, her symptoms weren't high, or she functioned well enough that people had no idea she had schizophrenia.
Yeah, but why also? Why was she? Maybe she was embarrassed to tell him. But then
Self-stigma.
Because I know, but that's also sad.
But because look what he thinks schizophrenics act like.
Well, is that what he said though?
No, but obviously. Why would you get so mad when you find out about that diagnosis?
I don't know. I want to see the comments. Yeah.
You didn't think it was important to men? Okay, people are gonna disagree with me. I know they're gonna disagree with me. Yeah, I have BPD,
You know what I mean?
and I let my partner know within the first month because it's only fair that they know what they are getting into. It's just like why does your opinion on somebody have to change once you find out about a diagnosis?
I don't know if it was that or if he was upset that she didn't say anything to him, that she didn't tell, that maybe he felt like she was like didn't trust him enough to tell him. I would be upset if you didn't tell me for years. Not because I would change my opinion about, but it would change my opinion about you because I would be like, why didn't you trust me for this long? I thought we were like, you know, a couple.
Well, I mean, when you have a diagnosis of schizophrenia, everyone is afraid of you.
I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe there must be a reason that she didn't tell
because
him.
people just don't understand.
I know that. You told me right away, though. You tell people right away. That's what I'm saying. What's wrong?
That's me.
I know that.
That's me.
I know that, but also like you knew that I wasn't gonna judge you or do or anything. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe also she felt like something like he was gonna judge her. Because also, why would you not tell him? Unless you didn't tell anybody, and that's also another sad thing. Like, why would you not tell people? Like, why are you embarrassed by it? Especially if she's doing so well. Why not tell people and be like, hey, like, you can do well like me, you know?
This person was deemed the asshole by Reddit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I, again, would not deem her the asshole.
No, she's not the asshole.
I think we need to figure out when the right time is to tell people. I always would do it right away. Some people are more scared. Some people live in different places. You don't know where she's from. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Reddit Reactions.
It got a little heated.
I got a little angry. I got a bit of everything here, but I'm glad you joined us and that you're still watching. And we will be back. It's been fun. See you later.